Hey, welcome to the conversation that's as diverse as the dogs that we adore. This is Gun Dogs and Guard Dogs, ultimate podcast dedicated to talking sense about dogs with Les Graham and Ross McCarthy. They work with all breeds of dog, but one specialises in gun dogs and the other prefers guard dogs. No flashy trends or social media hype here, just tried and true knowledge that stands the test of time. They bring you valuable insights and honest conversations about the social predator you share your home with. So here we go. About 45 minutes of gun dogs, guard dogs, good dogs, some maybe not so good dogs, and a dash of gossip.
Good day. Good day
Over
to
to
you. Got your mic on this week?
Yes, only because you just reminded me before you grabbed your coffee.
You've really got to get with it a little bit.
I know. I get with it. I've just been sitting down making all the notes about the different podcasts.
I know, you're very good at that. You're very good. Well, I saw you with your glasses on and your pencil in your mouth, so I knew you were busy.
That's the only way to think, isn't it? Glasses on the edge of the nose, pencil in the mouth.
Well, I don't know. I don't wear glasses, do I?
Your time will come, Ross.
I know you tell me that every episode.
Your time will come, honestly,
Yeah.
and you'll go grey. And
Yeah.
and you'll wear
Well, I
glasses.
don't know if I will actually.
And you'll end up with nose hair and ear hair
Or on the top of your nose, on the top.
coming out the bottom of your nose.
What would you do? I wax my nose.
Oh well, okay, maybe you don't. Maybe you're already there.
Yeah, no, I wax my nose and
Do
yeah,
you
the
trim
barber.
your ears? Do you
The
go
barber
in
does.
your ears and trim
The
them?
barber does my ears. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And your eyebrows?
And your eyebrows, yeah, otherwise they end up waving at everybody, don't they?
Dennis Healy.
Yeah, they do. Dennis Healy, yeah. They do. I
Dennis
mean,
Healy
yeah,
eyebrows.
yeah. No, this aging malarkey is wonderful, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean, it's easier for us because like everything goes thin. Like I haven't done anything with my eyebrows for years.
No, yours just go
Haven't
thin.
dyed my hair for years. It's just like
No,
grey.
I don't know if I'll go grey or not because it'll probably fall out by then. It's falling out at a rapid rate.
Do you not dye your hair?
No.
Hmm?
I've got a few little silvery bits on the side, but no.
So you're not getting old and distinguished, you're just getting like hairier.
Older, grumpier, and hairier. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, how funny. How funny. Have you had a good few weeks? It was
Yep.
since Sam was with us. Because it was
Yes,
Sam
the
last time,
lovely
isn't it?
Sam from Proflax. Yeah, I've had a nice few weeks. I've been away teaching again, and I'm away next week again. So looking forward to that.
Brilliant.
And then a little bit of time back at home.
Mhm.
So that'd be nice. Yeah, get on with some administration.
Oh, joy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
joy.
joy. Yeah, but all okay, all good with you?
Yeah, really good. Been really busy. We've got so what's it, the 21st? I've got the CPD coming up next weekend, which will be really great. New
Oh, that's
instructors.
nice. Your APGI
Um,
program.
Yeah, the APGI program. So there'll be 22 instructors. We've got 2 guest speakers. Got me, got some of the
Ooh.
APGI doing talks as well, which is awesome.
Were you allowed to say
And
who the guest speakers are, or is it top secret?
no, it's not. Trevor Kuba
Nice, that's
is
nice.
going to come and talk to us on Sunday morning.
Say hello
Um,
to him from me.
I will. He's gorgeous, isn't he? We should get him on.
Yeah,
We
let's
should
do
get
that.
Trevor on. So Trevor's lovely. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. He's such an awesome speaker.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't he?
He's really funny. He really is very funny. And then we've got Rachel Bean coming and talking on the Saturday afternoon as well.
Ooh, the busy bean.
Busy Bean. Busy Bean. She's everywhere. Been here,
Yeah,
been there, been
she
everywhere.
is. She is busy. Yeah, she is buzzing about all over the place, isn't she? Oh, that sounds like a nice little event then.
It'll be really good. It'll be really good. So I've been redoing the manuals, the training manuals and assessment manuals and everything. So this month has been flat out. It's just been really hard slog, getting all the admin done, getting ready for it. But it's done now. All done.
Yeah, people don't realize, I don't think, the amount of time and effort it takes to put on these events, do they? Do you know what I mean? It's not, you don't just rock up in the morning and off we go. It's like months of planning.
Yeah, so it'll be
A lot
great.
goes on.
See everybody is bringing together the groups because it's every 2 year, and there's groups that haven't been to CPD yet, so
Mm.
they've met each other on Zoom, but they haven't met each other in flesh. So it's going to be great getting everyone together.
Oh, I see. So they're coming from different groups.
Yeah, all of them are coming together. So there'll be 22,
Nice.
22
Oh, of
instructors coming
course, you
together.
said that. Oh, that'd be great. A little party.
Big party.
Big party. Nice. No, that'd be really nice to catch up with everybody, won't it?
Yeah, and it's at a McDonald's hotel as well, so I know the food's going to be amazing. We're going to be really
Oh,
well
I
looked after.
thought you were going to say the Golden Arches.
Oh, McDonald's, the Golden Dates of America.
Yeah. No.
No,
No. McDonald's.
Crackston Wood. So it'll be really
Oh,
lovely.
nice. Whereabouts is that?
Chester.
Ooh.
Oh, so I'm braving the wall.
Yeah,
Me
you
and Kenny are
can.
going to come over the wall and then scramble back when it's all
Yeah.
done.
Ooh. Got a nosebleed going that far.
It's not that far south for us.
I know. How far is it?
3.5 hours.
Ooh, quite far.
Yeah. So,
Mind you, I went to Northampton for a meeting the other day. That took me 2 hours to get there.
oh my God, did you nosebleed? I remember you coming to Penrith. It was so funny.
Oh, that was hours, hours and hours and hours. That was.
Yeah, but how beautiful was it?
No, it was beautiful, but the M1 is not beautiful, is it? On a Friday evening or whatever day it was that I travelled up.
M6.
M1, M6, M25, M1, M6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, not fun. I think it was the Friday night it came up. Might
I
be the
think so.
Thursday, I can't remember.
I think so. Well, I think it wasn't Friday night, it was all day Friday, wasn't it?
Well, yeah,
And then we went to that other one in Wigan
that was good.
when
That
my
was
car
good
broke
fun.
down
Your car broke down, didn't it?
on the way. I had to,
Mm,
yeah, not now, isn't it? To go and hire a car.
mm,
And then I forgot to put the handbrake on and I parked it at the hotel.
mm.
Uh-oh. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. So what's the agenda today then? What are we looking at today?
Uh, Puppy classes.
Puppy classes.
Yeah, because we've done dog training classes,
Yep, we have.
and next time it's about being a dog behaviorist.
That'll be interesting.
It was. It is interesting.
Oh,
It is
excellent.
interesting how it's
Excellent.
all changed, isn't it? But
Yeah,
this time it's puppies.
that's cool. I had one of our students the other day phone me actually about starting puppy classes, just about consideration. So it's quite timely, really.
Mm.
Having a
So
little chat.
we did what we need to look for in relation to dog training classes last time. So
Yeah.
what's the difference? Where would you start if you wanted to do puppy training? Where do you start?
First thing I think where people should start is to identify whether they should be running puppy classes in the first place or not. Because I think a lot of people um, think that they start training puppy classes because they think that's easier. But of course, puppy classes are where you can cause more damage because where you start training when they're in such a sensitive period of development.
Mhm.
So actually, before you decide are you going to run training, are you, do you have sufficient knowledge to do that? Because a well-run puppy class, you should be able to look at puppies and see that their sort of potential, the way they're developing potentially, their adult characters. So you can then, you can advise people according to their individual
Mhm.
dog, can't you? So, do you know what, Mrs. Smith, I can see your dog's a little bit, you know, boisterous, over the
Fearful.
top, fearful, whatever. And then, yeah, and then you can advise them accordingly, can't you? But if you can't see that because you don't know, then you probably shouldn't be doing puppy class in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. I think people think puppies are easy,
Yeah,
because they don't have like a lot of the naughty behaviors that they're
yeah,
bringing into class, like lunging, pulling on the lead, jumping up, biting,
yeah.
mouthing. So they don't have any of that. But um, the puppies are so. I mean, the thing is, whatever happens in the puppy class is going to come out when the dog's gone through adolescence and it's about 18 months. So
Hmm.
whatever's happened in the class the owner's going to have to deal with like 16 months later.
Yeah. And I think, the most worrying thing is, I guess, how people run them and how, allowing interaction and, whether you allow interaction, whether you don't, whether you might possibly be causing more damage than you're solving. Do you know what I mean?
And letting them off-lead and socializing and running around. And
Yeah.
so we've decided that we're competent
Yeah.
enough to look after puppies.
Yeah.
So what do you do? And I'd like to talk puppy consults as well, not just puppy classes, because I think the two
Yeah.
should really go hand in hand. So we've decided that we're competent enough, we've got enough experience with dogs to start looking at puppy classes. So
Yeah.
what would we be looking for in relation to a venue? Would that be different to a dog training venue, do you think?
I don't know if it would be different. I mean, you can probably get away with doing more inside, can't you, with puppies? Because you don't need a great deal of space. You're not doing, any sort of specific training, are you, at distance or anything like that? So you can probably get away with an inside venue, which means that more people are likely to attend, depending on the time of year that you're running the course or whatever. What do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't train puppies outdoors. I would always start with them indoors, and then maybe if they want to do a second class, a junior class, then I would consider taking them outdoors. But with puppies, I would always do them indoors.
Well, it's nice because you can spend a lot of time. You have to bend down quite low, don't you? So you can spend a bit of time sitting on the floor and whatever, whereas you
Sitting
don't
on the
want to be doing
floor,
that.
and also when I used to do my puppy classes, I used to have chairs out. So I would have chairs out and I'd have the owner sitting on the chairs, and I'd put a
Yeah,
little mat down for the puppies to teach the puppies to settle down
yeah,
beside the owner.
that's
And
perfect.
thank you. I thought
Mm.
so too. So thank you. Um, but it meant that there would be chairs and there would be spaced out, and
Well, it's good because you can control where the chairs go, then, can't
you
you?
can control where they go and you can space them accordingly. And yeah, it just worked really well. And also when they're really small, we start off with them on the lap.
Hmm.
So we start off with them on the lap, and then we end up put them down on the mat and teaching an unconditional down. So we train the dogs to go on the mat on command and stay
Yeah.
on the mat. Yeah.
No,
What
it's
about
not.
you?
Yeah, I used to do a similar thing actually because what I didn't allow was engagement with the dogs. So they may, as people, as they come in and whatever, the puppies might have the odd sniff of each other, but we didn't have play sessions and things. So
No.
by having chairs and a little place for the puppy to be, typically I'd put the mat on the left of the chair. So you've got chair,
Yeah.
mat, or whatever,
Yeah.
all around the room. And it stops people chatting and all the rest of it, doesn't it? Because they've got, you send them to their place.
Yeah.
Puppies go with them. So yeah, same thing really, but I'd have sort of controlled kind of arrivals really. Again, go out and greet people, bring them in, sit them down, tell them to stay. And then,
60.
yeah. And then yeah, I didn't have because I blah blah blah. Um I was kind of around, I guess, when the puppy parties first came over from the States,
Oh God,
and
we're
that was
hideous.
like a thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were really hideous. And that was just a nightmare. That was just a free for all, wasn't it? Puppies running about, jumping and
Awful.
bullying each other and being terrified. Um, so hence no kind of engagement really, because they kind it's a training environment, isn't it? They're coming to learn, spend time with their owner,
Mhm.
learn different exercises for their owners to transpose to their own environment, not,
Mhm.
you know, not a party.
Not the hoon around. Yeah, I remember them. They were awful. And I can remember people saying, well, you're not going to let the puppies play. No, absolutely not.
No,
The puppy
they want
class is
that.
about you and your puppy, not your puppy and other puppies.
Yeah, no, they want that. It's really not particularly beneficial with the majority of puppies, is it?
No, no, it's not. Um, so I mean, talking about the puppy parties. So like for me, the bad thing was the little dogs would learn to be scared of the big dogs, and the big dogs would learn to bully the little dogs.
Yeah,
And you'd have them hiding, you'd see them hiding under the tray, and people would just be dragging the puppies out to say,
and then
because there's quite a few videos on this, where people going, oh, look, I'm doing the puppy party. And
yeah,
you'd see them dragging the puppies out and forcing them like in the face of a bigger puppy, which is awful, isn't it?
And you'd see it. I mean, when I used to find it a lot in behaviour consults with dogs that are aggressive to other dogs, you chase it.
Take it back.
Oh, I'm not doing very well with my English today. I might do another language. Yeah, you
Well,
trace
just
it
please
back.
don't do another accent. How we did on your live,
Oh,
please.
dear.
It
I
was
might do my
dreadful.
Newcastle, the Newcastle. No, you can trace it back to, their puppy classes. Can't you? The puppies have had such traumatic events, and people
Yeah,
have paid their money, and they go back week after week with their dog sitting under the chair shaking. So just learn other dogs are really terrifying, and as they come to sort of maturity and develop, they learn the way to deal with that is to be kind of offensive with their
yeah,
responses to keep other dogs away. So yeah, it's a real shame, and I don't think people realize you only need like one trauma. You don't need months of it. You just need your dog to be freaked out by another dog, albeit a nice, friendly, social puppy with good
yeah,
intentions, wants to play. Your big bouncy Labrador wants to play with your Yorkshire Terrier, and then job done, isn't it?
yeah. Straight in a
you've
long-term memory.
yeah, yeah,
That's a very deep groove in the brain straight away, neural pathway set.
yes, absolutely,
Definitely. And then you've got the other side of it, haven't you, where you've got like the big Labrador puppy rather than the Yorkshire Terrier, who then learns how
yeah,
much fun it is to be jumping all over the dogs. And then before you know it, that dog could very quickly become dog on dog aggressive on lead
yeah, yeah, because
because
you've got
it's
a great
trying to get to the other
dog.
dog and it becomes frustrated and then it becomes like redirected almost sometimes at the owner, sometimes at the other dogs.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not good. And ultimately, what you don't want your dog to make the link with when it sees another dog, it's game on, do you? Because you
No,
don't,
no,
you don't want that in the park, and nobody wants that from other people. You know what I mean?
no.
So, no, lots of considerations really about what you're doing because it is, like we said, a really sensitive period of the dog's life, isn't it? And it's really a period whereby the owner needs a lot of education about onward, training,
Yeah.
behavior, nutrition, all sorts of things like that. So
And you
lots to
can't do
cover.
that when you're trying to get a puppy to walk on a loose lead. You have to do that when the puppies are settled down beside the owners.
Yeah,
And they're settled in their chair, listening, paying attention.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, it's nice. So what sort of exercises, what do you start off teaching in a puppy class then once you've got your indoor venue sorted?
Oh, it's been a long time since I taught puppy classes. Normally I have them in without the puppy to start off with, and we
Yeah.
do a little chat, and then we go and get the puppies in.
You tell them the
And
rules of the class.
yes, set the boundaries straight away. These are my expectations of you, and these are your expectations of me. And but then I normally start with just the puppy settling on the lap, or if it's really big, settling either between their feet or initially, and then moving them around to the left. But I just to start off with, I just talk at them really about what a puppy is and
Yeah.
the stages that the different puppies are at in the class. So I wouldn't have a puppy starting over about 12 weeks.
No.
So I would do like 4 week puppy class. So by the time the end, they were like 12 to 13 weeks. I wouldn't start a puppy at 12 weeks. That's too old. Was too old for my
Mm.
puppy classes.
No, it's
So it's
nice.
just getting them to when we were sitting talking initially, it would just be bonding with the puppy. So stroking them, massaging their ears, touching their paws, before putting them on the floor. So that would be the first thing that I talked about while they were sitting with a puppy on the lap.
Yeah.
Let's just massage their ears. Let's just play with their little toes. Let's give them a nice stroke. Teach them how to stroke a puppy as well so that they don't excite it. Long
Yeah.
slow strokes rather than the ruffles. So that
Yeah.
what about you? What would be the first thing you taught in your puppy class?
First thing, well, I do like the standard exercises we used to do as well. We used to do the puppy foundation, Kennel Club Puppy Foundation
Oh yeah.
awards. So, yeah, I always teach sit down, stand.
Oh yeah. Sit, stand down, walk on the loose lead.
Yeah, walking on a loose lead. We do a little bit of like fun stuff, like a little bit of a touch, a little hand touch.
Uh-huh.
Again, we start with puppies already doing like the send away to a cone. So we get kind of a down once the puppies are going down, we start to increase that as a distance. Do a lot of handling, lots of examination, getting the puppy used to. I always link a command, like when you're looking at their teeth and ears and
Oh,
stuff
teeth.
like that. Yeah, I
And
would just link a command to
yeah,
it. Doing
pull.
your eyes, your ears, you're looking at their belly, looking at their bits, lifting their tail, all of those things that we need to do so the puppies get used to that. And again, doing that when they're kind of chill, you know what I mean? We don't start, when they come in excited, we don't start trying to look at their teeth. We,
No, no.
we have plan an order so that we've got a bit of activity, then a bit of downtime, then a bit of activity.
Uh-huh.
Teach a little bed command as well.
Bed's really
Um,
important.
yeah, a little bed command or a mat command, whatever you like. Um, what else? Might be about it.
That's all
We
I
start
teach.
recalls. We start teaching little
Yeah,
recalls on a little.
yeah. So yeah, always sit, stand down, come, walk on the loose lead,
Yeah,
settle down, mat.
yeah.
Um, Lots of touching. I do it in sickness and in health, but I do that on all of my classes. I don't. It's not just a puppy thing. I do it on all of them.
What, talking about signs of ill health and things like.
Yeah. So yeah, in sickness and health is what I call it. So how do you know your puppy's healthy? How do you know your puppy's unwell? When do you call a vet?
Hmm.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's nice. That's good. Do you talk about like pet insurance and things like that as well? Like you give them a little bit of information
I
about.
haven't. I haven't in the past. What I have done is talked about like the law, the collar and tag law and Environmental Act
Yeah.
and the noise, tell them especially it's really important that they don't let the puppies bark in the garden and irritate the neighbours. So I talk about things like that. Ross, can you move? Because I think you're frozen. Are you still there? Right, let me just pause it. So that was a little bit of a technical issue. I've left it in though, because Ross is frozen. So I've left it in.
It's a horrible thing to do. Don't you dare leave that in.
You look lovely.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like you do. Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway, we were talking puppies and
You, you were
the
saying
joys
about
of
talking about the
modern
law.
technology. Sorry?
You were saying about talking about the law in your puppy classes and not allowing your dog to bark excessively and annoy your neighbours and things like that. Sensible.
Yeah, sensible stuff. So I do touch on the law, but I don't go in depth or anything. I don't do like Dangerous Dog Act or anything, but I do just make them aware of the laws that the need when they're puppies, definitely collar and tag act.
Yeah. Now, I do mention the Dangerous Dogs Act as well, just not obviously not an in-depth, legal lecture, but just so people are aware of it, because a lot of people aren't aware that actually with your border terrier, you're still, affected, or
And
you're still sort of under that act, aren't you? It's not just, your five banned breeds.
yeah, vicious dogs, not just vicious dogs. Equipment, what equipment do you use? This equipment is close to my heart
Well, in a puppy class,
in a puppy class.
we use a little flat collar and a little light lead.
Yes.
What do you use?
I use a little tiny puppy collar
Yeah.
and a light lead, and sometimes clicks used to do the really thin,
House line.
really thin 2 meter house lines. Do you remember
Yeah,
them?
they're great. Yeah.
Not a long line, they're just like really, really thin.
They're
Sometimes
great to
I'll
use
have them in the
around.
bag. Sometimes I don't use them, but I would have them in my training bag. But yeah, God, no harnesses. Don't ever put a harness on a puppy.
No, people do these days, don't they? That's what they like to do.
They're very trendy and they're really damaging.
A lot of people use a harness on a puppy so the puppy can pull prior to you sort of teaching it to walk nicely on a collar. Do you know what I mean? I don't, but I've seen people that do.
Hmm.
That no, I don't. We just have a little light lead and a little light puppy collar.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted by my dog. I've got a chew in a bag right in front of him. He's left it. What a good boy. There was a yak chew in that paper bag. Good lad.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with harnesses, I have heard people say that, oh, well, I'm training my puppy to walk on a loose lead. I've been recommended to put a harness on it, but harnesses are terrible for them.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the best thing is if you can teach your puppy from the outset to walk on a nice loose lead, then That's the
Job
point,
done.
isn't it? Yeah, that's the point. And people can practice in their gardens, can't they? And up and down, a little bit in the street and things like that, away from your training classes.
Yeah. And and I think the big thing with puppies, and I can remember, when I had my first puppy, I was so keen to take him out and get
Mm.
out and about and do things, but your puppy doesn't need to be walked. It needs to be
No.
socialized, as
Hmm.
in like proper socialization, not hooning around with dogs at the park.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to go for a walk. It
No.
needs to learn how to walk nicely on a loose lead, and it
Yeah.
needs to learn how to behave when it sees the dog and sees the person, but it doesn't actually need to go for a walk.
No, absolutely not. No, I see. Do you know what? I see more so these days than ever before. People that, particularly when they've got breeds like the working cocker, the boxer, things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas you talk to them and you're like, I presume you're only taking the puppy out, out and about to socialize and sit in the car park and, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And these people are doing great big walks with their
Yeah.
puppies, and you're like, and the dogs are often, grumbly, growly at night when they're disturbed and things like that. Was because they're absolutely exhausted and probably physically quite sore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just do
Yeah.
ridiculous amounts of exercise, and you just don't need to do that, do you? But that's another part of your puppy class, isn't it? Explaining to people what they should be doing socialization wise for the individual dog that they've got, and exercise requirements.
And I know there's no like scientific evidence or scientific proof behind the 5 minutes a month.
Yeah, they don't. There's not, is there really?
There's not, but I actually think it's a really good maxim to work by, because that way you're doing 5 minutes of walking, or I mean, say for example, you've got a 3 month dog, then that's like 15 minutes twice a day on lead
Mhm.
maximum. I think that's a really good maximum to go, even though there's no scientific evidence. Anecdotally, if you've got a little puppy that's 3 month old, you don't want to be walking it more than that.
No, you don't. But equally, people can be a bit thick at times, can't they? Do you know what I mean? They take it as like literally can't be out the house for more than 15 minutes. Go out for as long as you want. Do you know what I mean? If you're sitting in the back of the car or you're sitting on the park bench or whatever, you haven't got to be
Yeah.
back in, you haven't got a curfew for 15 minutes.
No,
Do you know
no.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes walking, not 15 minutes out of the house.
Yeah, no,
Because
exactly.
you don't want people dragging the dog around on lead for 2 hours,
No,
but
you
you can have
don't.
it with you for 2 hours. You
Yeah,
just don't physically walk it for 2 hours.
yeah. See,
And I
I'll go.
think I think
Doesn't
that's
take
what
you
it is,
long.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get far, can you? I mean, if I'll go, if I've got a puppy of my own, I'll go down to my local, like, not high street, I don't know what it is, shopping place, isn't it? But it takes you ages to get anywhere, doesn't it? When you're walking along with your little puppy, I mean, you can't get far in sort of 5 minutes, can you? So you only do little up and down or cross the crossing and back down, back to the car. Then I tend
Yeah.
to sit on the back of the car, let the puppy, see the world going by.
Mhm.
The trouble is with when you've got a puppy, blinking people want to touch it all the time, don't they?
I know.
Which is
I
a
know.
nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, I used to so like with my my dogs, they used to park up in Marlborough High Street, and then I'd walk down to the cafe that did, the food gallery.
Mm,
Sit outside and have my coffee with the puppy, either on my lap or on the floor, and then I would walk back to the car, and to the cafe and back again would be about 15 minutes. So I could do
mhm.
that a couple of times a day, but the dog would be out with me
Yeah, for
for like
longer.
a good hour. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mm.
And the first time I took Ziggy out, it was hysterical. I took Ziggy out in Marlborough High Street, good old Zig. Got him out the car and he had the runs
Oh no.
right outside the cafe.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't
Like,
it? Right inside the
oh,
food
lovely.
there.
Thanks,
Mm.
Zig. Love that.
Oh no, that's horrible actually. Because you can't, what you're gonna can't clear it up,
Yeah,
can
it's
you?
like slapping tissues on it, scraping. Oh, God, it was disgusting.
Oh no. Especially, I
I
mean, it's
know.
like well-to-do place, isn't it? You with your tissues in your diary on the pavement. Oh, I'm surprised you ever showed your face again. No wonder you had to move to Scotland.
I know it's terrible, isn't it? So things like that I would cover as well in puppy classes, what if?
Yeah, what
What do you do when?
you take tissues with you when you go out?
Yeah, I mean kitchen roll with puppies is great, because if they do have like an accident or they're a bit of a runny tummy, which can happen the
Yeah,
first couple of times they go out with excitement or movement in the car,
yeah.
um, then putting the kitchen roll down before you get your poo bag out can make a big difference.
Mm. No, definitely. I think also another thing that I've just sort of triggered in my mind is I was talking about it the other day with some students. A lot of people they don't prepare to leave the puppy on their own, do they? And
No,
probably in your puppy class as well, I suppose you talk about problem prevention like separation anxiety. So, how often we should be leaving the puppy on its own, crate training if they're not already, and stuff like that, so that, we cover the sort of holistic home life sort of thing.
yeah, teething, teethers,
Yeah,
getting in and out of the car, the importance of not letting your puppy jump in and out of the car until it's
yeah,
over a year old, no running up and downstairs,
yeah,
sectioning off the garden.
yeah. I'm surprised at the amount of people that let their, I mean, as you know, I don't have my dogs on the sofas. Do you? On your
No,
family?
no, never.
Most people, I think these days they do have their dogs on the furniture, but I don't. But I'm amazed at the people that have their puppies. You can't have your puppy jumping up and off, on and off the sofa because,
I
like,
know.
physiologically, you can't have that. But people do because they want their adult dog to cuddle them but you can't.
You
You should.
can't do that with a puppy because every time it jumps down, you are putting their growth plates at risk in the front legs
It's a long way, isn't
and
it?
shoulders and hips and
Mm. Yeah, you can't have that. I mean, they could get, longer term it can cause damage, but equally they could plop on their head, couldn't they? Do you know, they haven't got the motor skills to negotiate it properly. It's
no,
awkward.
no. And the thing is, if a puppy damages its growth plates, you won't necessarily know it until they do some serious growing,
Mm,
until they're about 6 months old. And then you could end up with a lopsided dog because
yeah,
if the growth plates are damaged, when they start calcifying, so the growth plate can turn and you can end up with a dog with a deformed long bone.
yeah, which is horrible. Well, any injury is horrible, isn't it?
An
Because
injury.
you want your dog healthy for as long as you can, don't you? So anything you can do to prevent sort of injury, then that's what you do. But I guess it's, educating the puppy owners, isn't it, in your training class to the dangers of things like that? Because people don't think, do they?
No.
They don't think. They just, think, oh, puppy can go. I don't mind it being on the sofa. Flop, off it goes.
Plop or even bang, yip, vet.
Yeah, yeah, screaming. I mean, they can, they're fragile, aren't they? Break blooming leg jumping off your sofa.
Mm. And the mad Angus was when we lived in New Zealand, we lived on the side of the hill again, things we do here. And there was like a ramp going, the road went down the side of the house, and then there was a wall, probably about knee high, and then it dropped down into the lawn. Yeah, so went and
Yeah,
then dropped. And he used to have my heart in my mouth because he would leap off that wall if I didn't get to him in time.
yeah.
And he was like a polar bear jumping off an ice flue, he would like do a Superman jump. And my
Mm,
heart was in my mouth the whole time. He had massive bone. Angus, I really remember Angus, he had like huge bone. As a
yeah.
puppy, he had like these massive knuckles. Um, the growth plates were just huge knuckly things. And my
Mm,
heart was in my mouth all the time. And I even cordoned it off and he still managed to get down.
yeah. Well, these things, I mean, they do. I had a puppy once that ran up the stairs, like they just all of a sudden found there's a flight of stairs here. I zoomed up, and then before I could go and zoomed back down again, but of course didn't have the coordination or the, prior experience in negotiating stairs. So it was just bloomp,
It's
but you have
scary,
to,
isn't it?
horrible, isn't it? Because yeah, it's horrible, but you have to try your best to prevent things, don't you? So of course you learn from experience about, don't let your puppy have access to where the stairs are.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm trying to think because we're kind of moved into the house as well. So you used to do public consults as well, didn't you, as well as the public classes?
Yes, I like a puppy consult.
I like public consults, they're
I
lovely
do
on that.
like a puppy
So
consult.
did you kind of do a diluted version of your public consult in your training classes, which is
Yeah.
kind of how I used to think of it. I used to do like a very diluted version of it.
Yeah, I suppose, and vice versa as well. You do a diluted version of your training class in your puppy consult, don't you?
Yeah,
So I'd go through when I do a puppy consult, I go through the basic exercises, how to
yeah,
teach those things, and then leave them to do it.
yeah.
Um, but there, yeah,
Toilet manners, all of that
yeah,
lot.
that's
Great
it.
training. Yeah,
Cover everything really: toilet training, destructive behaviour, talk about, little diet and stuff where with the natural kind of food for um the benefits of toilet training. So they're consuming less water and less bulk than processed
Mhm.
food. So that makes your toilet training easier. Timing of food feeding and stuff like that, where
Yeah.
the puppy should sleep at night or during the day or whatever. Lots, isn't there? Lots to
It's great, isn't it? It's so
yeah,
cool.
it is. I do like a puppy because I actually think having a puppy can be quite easy or it can be a nightmare. And if
Mhm.
people seek help, you can make it much easier for them. But other than that, you've got poo and wee all around your house and screaming when you put it in a crate. And do you know what I mean? It's
Oh,
just a horrible
awful, isn't it?
experience for puppy and for you. So yeah, it can make it be a lot easier.
Mm.
But I do think it's important that people start pretty much on day one, conditioning some alone time because a
Yeah.
lot of people just
And and not letting everybody and every dog in the house have access to the puppy. I think
no,
that I remember years ago, one of the girls who come gun dog training with me, she'd always bred her own puppies and she brought a new puppy in. And oh, she says, my family's coming over the weekend to see the puppy. And I says, don't, keep your puppy away from all of the other dogs in the house for like 48 hours and no visitors for the first week. And she's like, oh, but I really want everybody over. And it's like, honestly, first week, no visitors, just you
mm,
and your puppy. And she didn't listen to me.
no,
And within 6 months, she was like, God, I really wish I hadn't, because now the dog, as it grew up, it just thought everybody apart from her was the most important part of the world, and that's
yeah,
what the world was about, was greeting everybody else, and she wasn't important.
yeah.
Um, and it is huge, those early times with your puppy. It's really huge, isn't it?
That's one of the things that I find particularly difficult because I don't, I want to take my puppy out and about. I want to go to my local parks. I want to go to my cafes. I want to go to the
Yeah,
pub for the benefit of social. But I don't, people are just denied. They come over and they're, oh, and just like it's so difficult not to be rude, but yet to be firm and be,
yeah,
the puppy's in training. Don't touch it
yeah,
because you just don't. You end up with the dog that's leaping at everybody because it thinks it's the center of everybody's world and everybody's going to love it and touch it. And of course, as the dogs get older, regardless of breed, they don't. People don't want
no,
a blooming
no,
6-month-old Labrador or a blooming German Shepherd lunging at them. They're not
no,
interested in that, the dog at that point.
no.
So they just make your job very difficult.
Mhm.
So I don't know what you do about that other than like a cattle prod or something when people come and
Have an F off vest. That's what Ken used to call them. Do you remember his F off vest?
yeah, you
That's what he
did
used to
put a little
call them.
vest on a
I
dog, didn't
think,
you? To
I
say do
think,
not touch.
sorry,
You did have a little vest, didn't you? To say do not touch or whatever.
I did. I used to have a little psychedelic yellow vest, and it had uh, "Do not touch" in training with a big L sign on it.
Yeah. That's good actually. Like a friend of mine just tells everybody the dog's got fleas when they come over, like, oh, that's cute, it's got fleas.
When there's an older dog, when it's an older dog, and the dog's like the puppy's on the floor and it's walking around on lead, I say to people, if anybody's going to stroke your dog, tell them that your friend's pregnant, and you've got to teach the puppy not to jump up because you don't want your pregnant friend to get hurt.
That's a good
And
idea.
that works like 100% with anybody, because nobody wants to put a pregnant woman at risk.
Oh, that's good.
And so rather than having like a puppy or a young adolescent, letting them jump all over them when they see them, they go, oh no, yeah, that's really good. You need to teach your puppy how to sit, because you can't have it jumping up on your pregnant friend. Job
Yeah.
done. You,
No, I
if
know.
in doubt, lie. Huh?
I know. I guess that, there are breeds that, I mean, like the German Shepherd or the Border Collie and stuff, they probably need that more than a lot of other breeds. You know what I mean? That sort of tactility, because actually they're quite sort of one person dogs, if you want to call them that, or found, you know what I mean? They're not the adult German Shepherd's not really interested, or the average adult German not really interested in other people. Do
No.
you know what I mean? So they just want their owner, don't they? Whatever. So they
Would you
might
say
need
that's
it.
true about all the garden breeds? Because I've been looking at the hoverboard, and if
Yeah.
there's, I'm not going to get one.
No.
Well, a big golden retriever, but I really, really like the hoverboard. I think it's a
Yeah.
stunning dog, and like that they're saying, because it is a guarding breed, you do need to have people outside of the family stroke it, and because otherwise it can become very guarding of just the family.
I guess it depends on the dogs. I mean, obviously, with
Depends on the dog.
most experience of Rottweiler puppies, because that's what I have. But with them, maybe not so much, because they're quite bullish dogs anyway. They're quite in your but cattle droving dogs, aren't they? So they're quite
Well, yeah,
fast.
they get in there with their shoulder and get the foot
Yeah,
left
they're
away.
big, pushy dogs. And I think if you'd have too much contact with people, then you end up with that. But equally, conversely, one of mine is not particularly keen on being touched by people that he doesn't know.
Who?
Um, Hooga.
Okay.
But again, that's partly kind of breed inherent as well. But it doesn't bother me. I would rather that the dog that ignores other people
Oh, definitely.
and isn't interested, um, than the other way. I don't like that at all. That, as we've discussed many times, I don't like a dog that's everybody's friend, loves everybody, everybody's friend, and it's not.
Emirates.
They're my dogs. They're my dogs. I don't want, and I don't have a problem with saying to people, just don't touch them, leave them alone.
Yeah. I think because of where Emirates was born, in a young family, lots of come and go, and loads of dogs, lots of people.
Mm,
Um, he's very much that way inclined.
mm. Do you not think you think that's environmental? Do you don't think that's innate?
I think it's a bit of both.
Mm,
I think it's a bit of both. I think his temperament as well. He's a very gregarious dog, but I
yeah,
think I think I mean it's really difficult. Nature and nurture go hand in hand, don't they? You
yeah, you
can't really
can't, you don't,
separate them.
yeah, you're never going to know really, are you?
You're never going to know. And I think it's probably a combination of both. I think Dante's quite an aloof dog until he gets to know you. He'll kind of take a step back
Yeah,
and suss you out, and then he's really friendly with you, and he'll be really pleased to see people.
yeah. Well, I chose,
The
when I,
environment he was brought up in was very different.
yeah, was
So
he
I
kennel?
think they go hand in hand, really.
Yeah, I mean, I chose Hooga out of a litter. I had a choice of, I don't know, 5 or 6 males, I think. And I chose him, A, because physically I like, whatever, but he was the most aloof because I
Was
didn't
he?
want, yeah, they said, the breeder said, he's not that, he's a bit indifferent to people. I thought that would do.
Yeah.
That would do.
I'm hoping for that with my Goldie, that it'll be a bit more restrained. I mean, you remember Zig, he was like that. We went to see him, and they were all in the puppy kennel, and they're in the run outside of the puppy kennel, and they're all standing around, and I went, and Ziggy just turned and glared at me. It's like, who do you think
Well,
you
there
are
he is.
doing that?
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God,
Mhm.
okay, I'll have him. I can't wait.
Yeah,
And he was
yeah.
like that. He was aloof. He was classics, quiet, high-ranking dog.
No, it's nice, isn't it? I guess it all depends. We all have a preference for what we like, don't we? I mean, some people just like a really friendly, outgoing, social dog. Um, and other people don't like that, do they?
No, I'm not overly keen on. It's exhausting having a dog that wants to say hello to everybody and be everybody's friend, and
Mm.
it's just exhausting. You just want them to ignore everybody and be with the owner. And I
Yeah.
think going back to the puppy classes, I think I think we hit the nail on the head when we said it's nature and nurture, and it's a combination of the nature of the dog plus the environment and how you raise them. I think they all
Mm.
go hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I went to a puppy class with my female, so that was be about 8 or 9 years ago. Um, attended a class with her because I wanted to do competitive obedience, and we were doing some stuff. And they were like, okay, now we're all gonna feed each other's puppies. I was like, no, we're not. I'm not playing this game. I'm not having people feeding my puppy. And they thought I was joking, but I'm not. I don't need that, thanks. I don't need my dog looking at
No.
other people for food. If anyone's going to feed my dog, it'll be me. Not, no thanks.
I
What's
mean,
the
when
benefit in that?
where I do obedience, um, they tend to feed each other's dogs, and nobody feeds my dogs.
No.
Not even the trainers. If they want to show me something, like there's a couple of times like Sandra or Lynn or Leslie might show me something with my dog, and that's the only time they feed it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they wouldn't come up to my dog and just feed it how they do with other people's dogs. It's like, no, that doesn't work for
No.
me.
I had to go at my mum. She was one of those people that would feed. She'd take treats out with her and feed other people's dogs in the park.
Oh no.
Yeah, and people do it all around here where I live. I mean, people are always, I see it all the time. I see dogs running up to people that they know, like, and then they'll feed them. Um, but yeah, and I said, because my mum, I can't remember what happened. The dog ran over to her or something and near the road and all that. I'm like, stop feeding people's dogs. What is wrong? You've got your own dogs. Feed your dogs. Don't be feeding other people's dogs. What's wrong with you?
And with
So
her in
that's
the chair as well, it's so dangerous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if you've got your own dog and you're feeding other people's, then you've run the risk of them starting to guard the blinking food because they want it and they don't
Uh-huh.
want other dogs coming up to have your food. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. If you've got your own dog, feed your own dog, cuddle your own dog, and leave everybody else alone.
Oh
That's
yeah, I hate it when people go, "Oh, I'm the dog's favorite." All the village dogs love me, and they see me and they come
Mm.
running over, and it's like, "Oh, I love stroking the dogs." And I was watching a thing with it was an interview with Ricky Gervais,
Yeah.
and he said, "I think dogs don't belong to anybody. I think dogs belong to everybody." And I
Mm.
see a dog and I just have to go and stroke it. And I thought, I hope to God you do not meet me in the park because I'll be telling you not to stroke my dog.
You don't have to stroke my
My
dog,
dog.
thanks.
My dog, not everybody's dog.
No, I have said to people in the past when I've got a puppy and they're like, "Can I stroke?" I'm like, "No, go and get your own." Mine.
You're so direct.
I just find it, I'm not always, I find it's when I get frustrated. I've just, a lot of people, I had it, I think said before, but I was in a hotel with little puppy Okan, about 9 weeks old, whatever. And this woman said, "Oh, can I stroke him?" And I said, "Oh, no, I'd rather you didn't," and explained why. Lovely lady. And she said, "Oh, yeah, I fully understand." And lovely, had a nice chat with her. And she didn't touch the dog. And that was great because he got used to me being next to this woman talking without interaction. And then this other woman
Well done.
came marching over and just literally bent down and stroked him. And you're like, don't do that. Go away. I mean, this lovely lady asked, and I said no. And then this other one just barges in and does what
It,
she wants to do.
it's hard, isn't it? Because when the people ask and you say no, and then somebody just helps themselves,
I know.
it
It's
makes a
rude,
problem,
isn't it?
doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really rude, though, isn't it? To go over and just assume
Oh, it's
and
disgusting.
touch. You know,
It's
just
like how would they feel if you just went over and started stroking their hand, putting your finger in their ear when they're trying to eat? I mean, how would they feel?
no. And people, no, people are rude because half the time you are eating when you're out with, you're eating, or you got a coffee or something, and they're like, just barge into your own time, don't they? You have downtime. Do you know what I mean? But that's people. But it's you know,
What's that? Are you on about people coming in and asking for help when you're having a coffee?
no coming in to ask to touch your dog or
Oh
whatever,
yeah, yeah,
and that. Like out for lunch or something, they come barging in, and you're like, I'm eating. Don't touch the dog.
yeah.
Not. There we are. There we are. But it is very difficult. It's difficult. It is difficult socializing a puppy like that because you want to go out and about. You want to go to these different places, and then you have to negotiate other people and other dogs that are, you know,
Mhm,
interfering with what you want to do.
mhm. Very difficult.
Mm, it is.
Who's going to get a puppy now after that little rant, huh? Me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's time for a puppy, isn't it?
Feels like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Always a good time for a puppy.
Oh well, I need to go and find a good Goldie breeder.
Yeah. Old little Colin's got his little German Shepherd puppy today, Elan.
Is it today?
Yesterday. What day is it? Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
What's he called
Elan.
it?
Elan.
Alan.
Mm, not
Nice,
Alan.
nice. Oh, that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a
Is
puppy.
that a little black one? That's the one you've been doing videos on, yeah?
Yeah, little black one.
Lovely.
John's having one too. That's
I
due in 3 weeks'
saw
time.
I saw John's photos.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks time and he gets that.
Oh, they're
So
not from the same litter.
no, different litters.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anything else about puppy classes before we go and get on with our work?
What, and continue gossiping about who we know is getting puppies and when they're getting them and what breed and what litter. Yes, one last question. If you had to choose between not taking your puppy to a puppy class or taking your puppy to a class that they let the puppies play, what would you do?
Wouldn't go.
Yeah, I wouldn't go either. That was it. And I have said that in my books. I have said if you're looking at a puppy class where they're letting the puppies hoon around or over socialize, then you're better off not going and just coming up with a plan for yourself.
Yeah, you're better off. I mean, all of your socialization, your training can be done away from a training class, can't it? The only thing it does is if you don't know what you're doing, obviously it teaches you the skills and it gives you the goals to work towards, doesn't it? So next week we're gonna, we need to be more advanced than we are this week, sort of thing. But you don't need to ruin your puppy. It's always a good idea if you have the opportunity to go and view classes before you get your puppy or before you take your puppy, go and have a look, can't you? And if the class is unruly for whatever reason, or it's noisy, or they're running about on slippery floors, then go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't take puppy to puppy classes like under 12 weeks. I wait until they're a little bit older and I've trained the basics. And then, although saying that, Emrys is the only dog I've ever taken to dog training classes.
Quite a nice place to go, which I would go to if I sort of had a club close enough, is Ringcraft. So, so you're not teaching obedience, you're teaching the puppy to stand, but people go over your dog, but you're in that environment, and it's more kind of hands off, aside from when they're looking at the dog going over it, but equally the dog's getting used to people going over it formally without engagement, without the dog engaging with them. Do you know what I mean? They're just getting used to standing there being touched, not a nice. Do you know what I mean? Engaging, like jumping.
I do.
It's not excitable. It's you look at me while that woman's touching you. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're one good idea in like an hour.
Yeah, good. Edit that and put that at the front, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. So until next time.
Yes, until next time.
Until next time. Anybody who's getting a puppy, take heed, keep away from puppies classes that have them hooning around or constantly feeding each other's puppies. We don't want that.
No, and get your cattle prod ready to stop people poking about with your puppy.
Yeah, from cattle prods or us, huh?
That's it.
Brilliant. Have a good one, Ross. You take it steady.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Take care.
Thanks for listening. It's not just gun dogs and not just guard dogs, but all things canine, as we hope you have discovered. Please like, share and subscribe and help us spread a bit of common sense back into dog ownership. And a review wouldn't go amiss either. Catch up with Les and Ross again in about 14 days for more canine conversations. Until next time, stay well and enjoy your dogs. Any dog-related questions or topics, just drop an email to talk@cfba.uk or message us via facebook.com/gundogs and guard dogs podcast.